Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to my OSRS 1 to 99 Thieving Guide. The goal of this guide is to give any information that I feel you need to train your thieving at any level. Thieving is a very simple skill overall, and it's one of the faster capes in the game. These are not all the possible thieving training methods in the entire game, just the methods that I prefer to use. I'm going to start this guide with a few items that can be helpful for your thieving training. Afterwards, we'll discuss a few quests you could do to get a head start on thieving, though with early thieving levels, you still get solid XP rates out of the gates, so it's really not as important to get the quests done. Then I'm going to get into the actual leveling guide, followed by some alternate methods for thieving training if you didn't like the original ones I threw out there. First, we've got the helpful items for thieving training. I'm going to start off with the Ardougne Cloak. Completing different levels of the Ardougne Diaries is going to give you a boosted chance of successfully pickpocketing. The Medium Diary is going to give you a 10% boost to pickpocketing as long as you're still within the city limits of Ardougne. You do not have to have any level of the Ardougne Cloak equipped or in your inventory to get the boost, you just have to have completed the diaries. If you complete the Ardougne Hard Diaries, you're going to get that same 10% boost, but you'll get it everywhere in the game, not just in Ardougne. You do need 38 thieving for the Medium Diaries and 72 for the Hard Diaries, so you can't get them right away, obviously, but the moment that you're able to get your Ardougne Cloaks, they are going to be a very helpful item, and they're highly suggested for your thieving training. Another item that can speed up your training would be the Dodging Necklace. This necklace won't help your fail rate while pickpocketing at all, but when you do fail a pickpocket, you normally get stunned for a few seconds, and this necklace gives you a 25% chance of not getting stunned when you fail that pickpocket, which is going to increase your overall XP rates. The necklaces are extremely cheap overall, and they're very worth using, especially for lower levels. The Rogue's outfit's not going to actually help you out with your XP rates at all, so technically it's not really needed for 99 thieving, but each piece gives you a 20% chance to take double loot while you're pickpocketing, and with the full set, you will always get double loot. You need 50 thieving and 50 agility to be able to do the Rogue's Den, which is where you can get your Rogue's gear, and I highly suggest getting your Rogue's gear as soon as you can, but it's not going to actually change your XP rates, it's just going to help with the loot overall. There are a few low requirement quests that are going to give some solid thieving XP to start. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't actually need the quest for a head start since thieving XP is pretty fast overall, but you're going to need to do the quest eventually in your account generally, so it makes more sense to just get the quest out of the way and get that thieving XP early while you're at it too. If you finished all 4 Tower of Life, Hazeal Cult, the Biohazard, and Fight Arena quests, you're going to get up to 21 thieving even if you were at 0 XP. Let's go ahead and get into the actual leveling guide. I'm going to start at level 1 for those who didn't get any quests done. Your only option is really to pickpocket men and women out of their hard-earned cash. There's a lot of these NPCs scattered around RuneScape, but the simplest ones are easily in the Lumbridge area. I choose to pickpocket either of the 2 that are just northwest of the castle since you can trap them in this house. No matter which man or woman you go for, it won't take very long to get through this section. You can open up your settings, which are just to the right of the logout button, and click this joystick. Then you can set your NPC attack options to hidden, and then you won't have that attack option on the NPC. Unfortunately, with men and women, you still have the talk option there, so you are going to have to right click and then click. There's less space to move your mouse on each pickpocket, and this does make a much bigger difference in future pickpockets where you only have to left click to actually take the money. You'll notice when pickpocketing you're going to receive coin pouches instead of actual coins. You can't have more than 28 of these pouches in your inventories, and they don't stack, but you only have to click on them once to open them all up. Levels 5 to 20, you should move on to cake stalls. The only way that you can fail a stall is from either the baker or the guard seeing you. You just steal from this side so that the baker doesn't spot you, and if a guard ever does catch you, you only need to move a few spaces north and wait a few seconds for him to walk away again. You could bank at either of the Ardougne banks if you really need the cakes or the bread, but for a main it's not really worth it, so you just want to drop them for faster rates. It's not unreasonable to keep it for food though if you have no other food source. At level 20, you can start stealing from silk stalls. These are just to your southwest from the cake stall. They're not much faster than those cake stalls at all, but since it takes longer to restock and there's generally less guards to deal with, it makes it a lot more consistent in AFK, and you only need to go to level 25 thieving for this section. 25 to 31 thieving, you can move on to the fruit stalls in the Hosidius house on Zaya. You do need 15% favor in the Hosidius house to be able to steal from these, and they are located just south of the Xerix Glade teleport on the Xerix Talisman, also to the south of the player-owned house portal in Zaya. You can tell you to the Castle Wars Bank to bank your fruit and make a decent profit here, but it's going to slow you down overall, and you won't really be here long enough for the profit to matter that much, but again, if you need the food or the cash, it is up to you. There is a guard dog that you might have to trap into the building or it will attack you, so it could be a little sketchy if you're very low health, but it doesn't take that much damage by the time you get it trapped. It shouldn't be a big deal. There's also a bank to the southwest if you really don't have any teleport options, but it's going to slow you down a lot. Again, it's just highly suggested. Get that thieving XP and move out of there. 31 to 60 thieving, I would start some of your Pyramid Plunder grind. Pyramid Plunder is a mini game in the city of Sophanem. You either need to start Icthruin's little helper quest or just use a Pharaoh's Scepter to get in there. Either way, the Jaws of Ra teleport from the Scepter is the recommended way to travel there, so you might want to get a Pharaoh's Scepter if you can afford it. There are 4 doors and only one of them has a Guardian Mummy inside, so it's going to be random. You just got to keep trying out doors until you find the right one. The Mummy's going to give you 5 minutes to go ahead and take loot from the pyramid. There's 8 rooms in the pyramid. Higher level rooms require higher level thieving but give more XP. At 31 thieving, you can only go into room 2, but you're going to unlock room 3 at 41 thieving and room 4 at 51. You usually only have enough time to loot from 2 rooms, so whatever level you are, you just traverse through the pyramid to the second to last room that you can get to, and then take from each of the urns. It is suggested to have a lockpick to help get through the doors in each room, and I don't really bother opening the sarcophagus since it has a chance to spawn a level 84 mummy, but if you have a decent defense level, you're going to be safe either way. You can also take poison damage if you fail to take from any of the urns, so you should be bringing an anti-poison of some kind, or just wear a charged serpentine helm when you do this. Pyramid Plunder is a solid method all the way to 99. In fact, it's some of the fastest XP in the game once you hit 91, so if you enjoy this mini game, you really should just stay here for the cape. I just have different preferred methods once you get to 60 thieving. At 55 thieving, you unlock Ardougne Knights, but it's not a bad idea to wait 5 or 10 extra levels before you actually pickpocket them, since you'll have a fairly high fail rate. The XP rates have a pretty wide range because of your high fail rate at those lower levels, but once you get to 95 thieving, if you have your Ardougne medium diaries done, you stop failing pickpockets completely, and this becomes an extremely fast method. The big benefit of Ardougne Knights is that they can be lured to stand at 1 or 2 squares at a time, and this basically becomes alching, other than having to open your coin pouch every 28 pickpockets. There are a few spots in Ardougne that you can lure the knight with either a dragon or a Zami spear, which both have a spec that you can knock your opponent back. The northern spot is one of the most popular and one of the easiest ones to lure. Luring the knight does seem fairly difficult at first, but honestly after just trying it out a couple times, it's really not that hard. Alright, the first knight I'm going to show how to lure will be for this northern spot, which you're going to go up in this building. Actually, I see the knight right here that we're looking for. He's usually hanging out in the south to southeast area, either over here or over here in Ardougne. Honestly, you can find him in this building and this building sometimes. In fact, there is a knight in this building, so it's possible I've got the wrong one. Sometimes that happens, but I believe this is the guy. He looks like he's in the right spot. And this is a pretty simple one if you actually attack it instead of just pickpocketing. Let's turn on those attack options and try to grab him. One quick attack so that he'll follow you up to the doorway. Make sure to open the door and you can step 2 steps in, I believe. Nope, just 1 step in, my mistake. 1 step in, and you just kind of want to get him close to the door like so. Here we go. Now that I've got lined up a couple of specs, we'll start to move him in the right area. I'm going to go ahead and use 3 just to be safe, but I believe 2 can do it as long as you step in all the right spots. But once you have the door closed and he's stuck in there, you can just run over here real quick, and then I can either, I don't know, run really far away or just hop worlds and hop back, and I can go ahead and start pickpocketing from him. My preferred thieving spot is actually in this southern building over here. You want to get 2 knights stuck in here, and they'll be stuck on these 3 squares right here. They'll just walk back and forth, and you'll be able to pickpocket. So the first knight we need is actually the same exact knight we just used for the northern spot, which I believe this is him because he's just hanging out in the other area. I think this guy is actually going to be the second one we need. We'll see in just a second. This first knight, the one that you can use up in the northern spot, you can bring all the way up to the door, and then I don't know how to explain this little move. Run him so that he's standing in the doorway here, and you just need a single spec. Close the door behind him. And now I usually teleport to my house to go fill up my special attack bar again. And the second knight is usually hanging out a little bit to the west side of the square. I find him over here and in these 2 buildings often, but it looks like he's stuck in this building right now. We were just noticing. Let me check if that is the right one. Really the only way to check is if you know like where his roaming area is. I don't know exactly what you would call it. Where he's allowed to roam. So if he's attacking you and he eventually just walks away, that means you left his roaming area. And I believe I can go 1 more square and be good. He'll be attacking me. And if I go 1 more square to the south, he'll start walking away. Or at least he won't attack. Yeah. So this is the right guy. I want him right on this square, which means that I'm going to be using 4 specs, and it'll start knocking him diagonally until we get him in front of the door here. This is where you might need to have Entangle or even Snare. I guess Bind would help, but some sort of freezing spell so that when he gets in this area, he doesn't walk away because it's out of his roaming area. So go ahead and use the first 2 specs, and as long as I'm next to him when he tries to attack, he should still be aggressive for right now. And then right here, I usually drop that Entangle, get a quick spec in, Open the door behind him once he's there. Get the final spec. Close the door quick, and now I have two knights. They're both in the same spot, but one of them will walk away. And you don't want to open this door. That's the biggest problem with this spot. Is it's pretty easy to grief you. Someone could just show up and open the door and be a dick. It does happen. But go in the other door, turn off your NPC attack options again. Having a lot of people in the night was a much bigger issue before they added the coin pouches. Now people have given up on the knights, not for the most part, but a lot of them have. And overall, they updated how the system works so that it wouldn't slow you down too much. But if you get too many people in the night, it can end up flickering if two people fail a pickpocket at the same exact tick. And there's less of a chance in here because for one, no one seems to use this spot, and for two, there's twice as many knights to work with, so there's less of a chance that there's two people pickpocketing the same one and they fail at the same time. Let's talk about some alternate methods for thieving training. One of the fastest levels for mid-level thieving is blackjacking. Blackjacking is one of the most click-intensive things in the game, period, and it's pretty unpopular to use at this point, but if you're feeling spunky, you just need to do the feud quest, get an offensive maple blackjack, and have at least 45 thieving. It takes some time to get into the rhythm while blackjacking, but it is a very fast method, even all the way to 99. The underwater agility course works very similar to the agility arena in the Brimhaven dungeon, but you don't just have to get agility XP here, you can get either agility, thieving XP, or a combination of both. While looting from the chests and the shells in this arena, you're going to receive some mermaid tears. Once you get used to swimming around the arena and using the shortcuts and the puffer fish and whatnot, you can get 200 to 220 tears an hour. The XP that you get per mermaid tier is going to be scaled based on your agility and thieving levels, and at 99 thieving and agility, these are just about tied with the fastest XP rates in the game, as long as you only turn in the XP for one skill though. If you instead turn in the mermaid tiers for a combination of both, you get a little bit over half of each of those XP rates in each of them, so that means this is a solid way for training both your thieving and agility in the long run, but for getting each cape individually, it's not necessarily a great method overall. Master farmers can make some pretty good money, especially if you have your rogue's gear. They only require 38 thieving to pickpocket, but I do suggest 50 plus not only for that rogue's gear, but the fail rates are pretty bad right at 38 thieving. The XP that you get here is pretty mediocre unless you're at like 90 plus, then you can actually get over 100k XP an hour. But once you get to 70 plus thieving, this can make well over 500k GP an hour, even up to the 1 mil range when those Ronar and Snapdragon seeds are up in price. For more information about pickpocketing master farmers, I have left a link to my guide in the description. If you've completed the Prince Alley rescue quest, you can speak to Osman, who's located right outside the Al-Kharid Palace. He'll tell you about the skirks that you can steal from the Sorceress's garden. You can then speak to the apprentice, who's in this building, to be teleported to the garden. There's 4 sections of this garden: winter, spring, autumn, and summer, which require 1, 25, 45, and 65 thieving respectively. Each of these gardens has a few elementals floating around to keep guard. You need to sneak past these elementals to take either a skirk from the tree, or you could even pick some herbs. The skirks can be used with a pestle and mortar to pour juice into a beer glass. Higher level skirks require less fruit to give you a full glass, and they'll give you more XP per glass when you give them to Osman. This method isn't that fast for thieving, but it is a very interesting way to change up the boring pickpocketing life. This is a fairly nostalgic thieving training method for me. I don't know, back in the day I used to love it a lot, but it really isn't extremely effective in my opinion. The last method I want to talk about is a high-level alternative. Pickpocketing Tsar citizens can reward gems and tokel and gives pretty good XP rates at higher levels. You need 90 thieving, but even at 99 thieving with your Ardougne Diaries, you're going to fail some pickpockets, so I highly suggest bringing dodgy necklaces. And since you'll be taking gems from them, you should have a gem bag for this too. You also are going to need to wear ice gloves instead of your rogue's gloves, which means you won't always get double loot, but that doesn't really matter as much. These Tsar people are in the area that you need a fire cape to enter, though you won't have to sacrifice your cape for it. And there's one little guy that can be lured into these couple squares by just following him in there and not actually using your dragon spear. You just got to make sure he doesn't walk out. You're going to need to step away from him every 4 minutes to make sure he doesn't despawn, but if it's just one square back, he'll stay stuck. And this turns out to be a pretty good combination of good XP rates while making solid money with your thieving, but it's not a very common method for 99, since you can just speed through with other methods and make up the money later. Also, to get the full money, you actually have to turn in the tokel for either sapphires and emeralds, or if you wait to get enough for an onyx, you could do that too and make some pretty good cash, but that requires a lot of tokel to do it. I believe that's all the information I wanted to give about getting 99 thieving, everybody. If you still have any questions or tips of your own, be sure to leave those in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video or you got some useful information at all, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do hope you enjoyed, and best of luck in your thieving grind.